Good to see you, Malky.
Thank you.
Obviously, we need to talk about Chelsea, but initially, looking back over the last sort of 10 days, give us an insight how the situation's been from your perspective.
Obviously, I'm really sorry for our fans of what they've been through over the last couple of weeks. It's been a difficult time for them, where their club has been put into the spotlight for non-footballing matters. So I absolutely feel where they're coming from, and I'm as disappointed as they are, as far as that's concerned. Obviously it's as a result of Ian Moody leaving the club, and Ian is someone who is an absolute class act as far as I'm concerned. Is very impressive in the job that he's done for the football club, and I suppose in one of the periods of success in the recent years of the football club, which we're in just now, over the last 2.5 years, has certainly been had a huge part to play in the restructuring of my squad, and brought in over 20 odd players. So he's got a huge part to play in the recent success. He's someone that everyone here in Wales at our football club that works for a football club will sadly be missed by them, and he leaves with my utmost gratitude and respect as far as leaving the football club's concerned. What I would say is that I think our loss will be someone's huge gain in football, and one thing I suppose I would clarify is that because I've read various things in the last couple of weeks, that just to clarify this, that we absolutely were under budget this summer. Okay, so just to clarify that. So that's what I've got to say on Ian. I would say in terms of what's happened in the last couple of weeks. As far as I'm concerned, again for clarification, under no circumstances was I asked to resign, and at no time have I thought of resigning from the football club. Okay, so again, just to put matters into perspective as far as that's concerned. And there was a board meeting on Monday that I was at for a long period of time, where I met with key individuals at the football club now.
It's good to hear, I know from the fans' perspective, because obviously we spoke to a number of them who were very worried that they were going to lose you from the club. So they'll be very reassured to hear about that. We said this to Craig a little bit earlier. I mean, I guess it is that old adage, whatever doesn't kill you makes you stronger. I mean, going forward now, do you feel personally stronger about what's happened? You've come through this adversity and moving on, the squad's stronger, and possibly the relationships you've got with people within the board and things like that, that they can be forged strongly moving forward now?
Well, what I would say is that on Monday and over the last 2 weeks, I've had a lot of close contact with our new chairman, Mehmet Dalman, who's a very impressive figure. Chaired the board meeting as if he had chaired 1,000 in his sleep, and was very impressive. And is someone that certainly over the last couple of weeks, there's certainly a mutual respect there between us, and there's an understanding of what needs to be done going forward at the football club to help and to make the club stronger again. So he's certainly someone that I think, I hope plays a big part going forward as far as the club's concerned. I'd also say that Steve Borley is someone who is another member of the board who has been at the club for a long time, is a firm supporter of the club, and is someone that again has been someone who has shown his mettle and desperately wants the club to go forward and be successful and do well, and he's someone again that that needs to be at the fore of things. But certainly, if we're going to go forward from here, Mehmet Dalman is someone that I have a lot of trust in, that the club will be in the hands of someone who's got a very, very good business acumen, and someone that last week has tried to to help draw a line under some of the things that have happened, and try and make things better going forward. As far as after that, I would suggest that I'm not going to say any more on this issue, and any other questions that any of you have got in terms of that's concerned, there's a chief executive down at the stadium that you can discuss that with, or you can ask to discuss that with. I want to protect my players, and I want to talk about football. And going forward, we've got a game against Chelsea, and I'm the manager of the football club, and my job is to manage the team and look after the football side of the football club. So, with respect, that's all I'm going to be saying about that.
Let's look at the Chelsea game then. Not the easiest one perhaps to come straight back into action with, but I guess maybe a sense of anticipation, relief, that back to the main business.
Well, we've worked hard this week. The boys that have been here, we've had boys away on international duty, and far-flung parts of the world, and they've all had a modicum of success as far as that's concerned. We're back into it again this week, and we slipped into the usual work leading up to a Premier League game. So we've got a tough game ahead of us on Saturday, and we go over to Stamford Bridge, realising that, but also looking forward to it massively.
It's a big milestone for you. I'm given to understand it's 100 league matches under your jurisdiction now.
Okay.
You obviously weren't aware of that. I mean, it's a milestone to be marked. Will you be marking it in any way?
Only if we win. Didn't realise that, but that's something I'm very proud to have been the manager of Cardiff City for 100 league games. Is something that I'm very proud about. It's an honour to be the manager of the football club, and to be here for as long as I've been, and to have been shown as much warmth as I have been from the people here, means a lot to me. So we'll be going out on Saturday on my 100th game, and hoping to do as best we can for our fans, because I know there's a lot of them travelling to the game. Well,
I certainly hope that you get the result. Just the final one from me. Up against the special one, and obviously they are at the moment looking like early title contenders. He's an interesting character. You're an experienced player and becoming an experienced manager at Premier League level. How do you outsmart the special one?
Well, I think it's someone. He's someone that I've got a lot of admiration for. I met him recently at the Premier League managers meeting, and he was a class act. I've worked with Brendan Rodgers at Watford to work for him, and we discussed Jose a lot at that point. What I would say is he's someone that embraces English football. He seems to be drawn back here. He's made no secret of that. He enjoys the cut and thrust of it. He enjoys the tactical side of it, but he also enjoys the passionate side of the English game. And he's someone who is a top manager, and like players who want to play at the highest level, managers want to coach and manage at the highest level and be against the best. And I'm up against the best tomorrow, so I'm looking forward to that.
Congratulations on the milestone. Best of luck.
Thank you.
Malky, looking at the Chelsea game, you said earlier that you have to protect your players. Is there anything different in the build-up to this Chelsea game, given what's happened, to what would normally be? And do you expect any of it to be taken onto that pitch by the players tomorrow?
No, I don't. I mean, they're all normal guys, so they've seen and read everything, but they're professional footballers, and first and foremost, they come in those gates and they've got a routine. It's something that myself and the staff have implemented since day one here. There is a daily routine that the boys go through, and they just click into their normal job. The bigger disruption this week's been the international break, in terms of flying guys back from all over the world, which has happened over the last 2.5 years. They're now just flying away from a little bit further than some of the ones that we had 2.5 years ago, but that being the case, it's getting them back and getting them into preparation mode for how best we can prepare the individuals that are coming, like Kim Bo-kyung and Gary Medell coming from fair distances away. How do we prepare them that they're going to be fine-tuned and ready for the weekend? So that's been the slight difference, way we've had to prepare, but that's something that we've done, and something my staff are used to now. So as far as the players are concerned, they've worked hard this week. They've trained really well yesterday. We did a real good session yesterday, and I was so impressed with what I saw yesterday.
But you couldn't have been surprised if one or two came back wondering whether you'd still be here. Do you see what I mean?
I suppose that's something you would have to ask them, but they've certainly not come and asked me that. I spoke to them all yesterday, and as I said, the group that are back today, the international group that are back yesterday and today, we've talked to them all in general terms, but mainly focusing on Chelsea because it's just clicking into our normal routine of looking at Chelsea yesterday, analysing them and discussing them, and then going on to how we're going to play against them yesterday and today.
Do you believe though that people will be looking tomorrow just to see how things are? Obviously it's a big game against Chelsea, whatever, a difficult task against Chelsea, whatever, but there'll be even more of a spotlight given the headlines of the last few weeks.
No, I think any game against Chelsea, any team playing Chelsea, is a spotlight on them because they are going to be title contenders, and we're playing against top players, playing against top international footballers tomorrow. That's the focus that you have to be firmly looking at, because if you don't, as a team, then you can get well burned. So you can rest assured that myself and the players are only concentrating on going out there and matching them for 90 minutes, because if we don't do that, then we absolutely won't be coming out with any result at Stamford Bridge. But as I said, I've got a group of players there that are focused on it and are ready to go there and make sure we compete.
Is this one of the games where you're not expected to get anything?
I suppose in the bookies' eyes, yes, but like anything else, I've not got into a game in the last 2.5 years thinking that, and I certainly won't be on Saturday.
And last one for me, has your job changed in any way in the last few weeks?
No, I've managed the football club over the last 2.5 years in the same fashion, in terms of there's other aspects to my job other than just being on the grass with the players. So it's something I've got. I know that I do.
Malky, have all those players come back fit from international duty?
They are. There's bumps and bruises, and there's certain tirednesses attached to that. But again, that's where the sports science and the medical team come in, and they've got their hands on them nearly 24/7 since they came back, in terms of recovery and making sure that we're in the best frame of mind and best state for Saturday. We'll have a little look at it to see, because it is definitely a consideration in terms of where they're coming from, how many minutes they've played over the last 10 days. So it's something that is definitely something that we have to look at.